real quick check if it works this time, because YouTube is having a problem with me at the moment. Okay, yeah, it's actually working now. So, this is something different than what you're used to me. First of all, this race was yesterday. It was an off-season in Too Slow, hence the GT car. But what's weird about the race is, as you can see, I'm in the GT3, but the whole other field is in GT2s. Now, the context is this is a GT4 event. And everyone was on a GT4 car. We're now at the race start, but during qualifying, I was so slow that on the starting grid, several people, including one of the league admins, told me to just get in the GT3 car and fuck it. So, on the starting grid, 2 minutes to go, I go in a Ferrari GT3, and it led to the most fun, chaotic off-season race I've ever driven on any game. And YouTube decided to be a dick about it, and it's cut off my stream after 1 minute. I didn't agree with that, and the race was so chaotic, and they just confirmed that I won. So I feel like the only way to do it justice is to do a whole replay of it and just give the context of what happened in that moment. But yeah, I actually won a race only because I'm in the GT3, but it wasn't easy because we have Tim, and Tim is, if I can find him, Tim is the Alpine. He was a star player in this, and then we have Donny in the 25 Mercedes. Smaller role, but still involved in it. So, we're at the race start. Obviously, I'm in a faster GT3. If I can get a nice camera angle of it. I actually end up rear-ending Tim on race start. First of all, there's the contact there with Maro, but Netcode made me contact with Tim. So that's already 3 positions. It wasn't meant to be, but turn 1, I go pretty cautious because I'm in the GT3, everyone else is in the GT4. Fact remains that because of this, I am very cautious on the first couple of laps, just gauging where everyone else is before pushing, and the real pushes will be seen later on in the race. And the chaos actually starts after I lap Tim for the first time. So, right now I'm behind, I think, Tom and Stanskip. Tom obviously is the champion of season 1 and 2 of Traction, and Stanskip is a really fast guy who joined some time ago. Now, I'm going pretty hard against Tom, or not hard, but I'm fighting Tom side by side, and I'm actually in a voice chat with Tom, with Donny, with Tim. I think Stan's kid was also in it for some part of it, and Repsy Cola, who is also going to play a role in the end of the race. Most of the race will just be me driving alone because I have a very fast car compared to the rest, and I mostly encounter cars when I'm lapping them, or after Tim's shenanigans, after I'm fighting with position with them. Now I finally passed Tom, and you can already see my power is on exit, corner exit, and straight line speed. That's where I'm the safest to overtake, and I wasn't in a hurry at all in this point because this is for the lead. And I still had an hour up to this point to fight back. Tom actually fights back at me, but it's all clean, it's all very close, but no contact happens, so that's a good thing. Tim, I should explain, this is off-season, of course. Last week at Monza was also a very fun race, though not as chaotic. But you should know that Tim has made these events just solely to make people regret showing up. Which was going to beat Tim with GT4s, but so far as I could tell, people were pretty much enjoying this race. The gimmick for this race, though, was that the track was only revealed on Monday. So people had like 1 or 2 days to practice for it. Nurburgring was the best track to come out of that Wheel of Fortune. There could have been worse, like I think Imola was on the list. I don't remember what other tracks were, but Nürburgring was the best one to come out of that. Right now I'm in the lead, but me and Tim already have a history. Think of Imola last race or last season, which he found it funny to bump draft me 2 times into a wall, and the guy has started in the pit lane every race because he kept changing cars. No problem with that, but Tim is just Tim. There is no different way to describe him. There is a reason we call this Timtistic, because it's so autistic, only Tim could have come up with it. Might actually... There isn't much to do for this time, so I'm just going to skip ahead for a bit until I actually encounter Tim again. Because Tim, being Tim, and I'm just going to pause it here. Tim has been waiting on the pit lane for me. And Tim being Tim, I'm already yelling at him on the voice chat, but because the stream didn't save. Tim parks it on the apex of turn 1. I try to get past him, I actually do. His goal is solely to ruin my race. That's all he cares about. That's all he wants to do. I don't blame him, because again, I'm in a GT3. It's not hard for me to win this race, but keep in mind, Tim exists to cause me pain in this race. Donny too, but Donny at least warns me before he dive bombs me. Which he did. He did dive bomb me a few times. But just keep an eye out for the Alpine. Because the Alpine is a dick. No offense meant to Tim. I've already left with him about this multiple times, but just keep Tim in mind. So we'll fast forward again. Again, this will not be an optimal stream. I just wanted to put this in the history books because this race was so chaotic and fun. I wouldn't do it justice if I didn't do this. You may also notice that lap 11 is a long lap, and that's because the only way I can describe it is Tim. Honestly, the only way. Is it already on this lap that he tries it again? No, this time it's Donny. So, Donny, like I said, also wants to take me out, but not in the same way as Tim. Donny's race was already ruined by lap 1, and he now has the sole purpose of wanting to fight me. And I'm fine with it, because again, he's in the voice call with me, and me and Donny being both Dutch and both having been shitted on by Shepard, we both have a mutual understanding. Midway, well, not even midway, somewhere in this race, Donny just decides to do donuts and drift around the track, which is an extra obstacle for me to evade, but he stays pretty respectful during it. I think there's also one point in the race where me and Tim just slow down to allow Donny to fight me, which, gotta love the guy. I actually went through the Schumacher chicane to allow him to catch up, and this is what I mean with Donny dive bombs. You can see it really clearly. Donny just loves to dive bomb me. He gives a warning before he does it, and that's why I already went wide, but me and Donny love the guy. He takes it quite nicely in terms of fighting. But again, Donny will play his own part in this. Who's that card? That's Donny. No Tim this time. I'm just checking mostly around start-finish straight, because there are moments where Tim just cuts the pit exit line just to annoy me. Again, no hate towards Tim. It's just, if there was any way for me to save the voice chat, I would have just made this stream with the audio from the voice chat, not my voice. Because the voice chat was so much funnier than I can ever make it. This is the point where there's Tim and there's me, where we just slow down, allow Donny to catch up. Because at this point we were all still memeing. I had confidence I will be making back up. We give Donny again a chance to dive bomb. And it's on this lap that the Tim shenanigans take place. Right at this moment, he forces me off. And it's just the start of what I call the Tim assassination plot. Because from this point on, Tim's only goal is to murder me. I still play along with it because I'm still in the lead. I slipstream Donny. And then I want to have Tim's POV from this. Because Tim, being Tim again, does the most Tim move ever. He spins himself in the process, but the goal is achieved. I am off track. And he is having the absolute time of his life. I went into the wall. I almost went into Donny. But the car is damaged at this point. It's slightly damaged, but damaged nonetheless. I made contact with Donny because I underestimated how much damage I had. I apologize for him at this moment, or to him at the moment, but contact was made and it already showed Tim's, I don't want to say attitude, is his way of dealing with me being in a GT3 car. And I want to be perfectly clear, I went into this race knowing what was happening. Because Tim briefed me about it before the race started. That, well, he didn't say specifically he was going to take me out. He just stated that that it wouldn't be easy to win. And I just thought, okay, he's going to block me, he's going to ignore blue flags, whatever. Me and Tim, like, if you... And I hate that I couldn't put up the voice chat. But like for the half of this race, Tim was crying from laughing for all the damage he did to me, for all the pain he caused me. Obviously, in this lap, I cleared him. I got very much ahead of him. And I'm just going to skip the lap. Because I think on this lap, I think he's on pit exit again. No, he isn't. There is a lap on which he's on pit exit and he decides... Was it actually the lap after this? He just cuts the pit lane. In a way I haven't... Yes, it's this lap. So, he's been waiting for me. On pit exit, he sees me. It isn't on this lap that he like fully cuts it. There is a lap where he just comes straight across. And I think this is the lap. Yes, this is the lap on which he kills me, which actually forces me to pit. This is the point from where it will become a catch-up race. So he hits me. I go through like, sure bro. He then absolutely murders me into the wall, as only Tim does. You can see my front end is not enjoying this at all. But Tim being Tim, I accept it. It's at this point I get the meatball flag. I did not want to pit. But after he hit me again, I'm giving the meatball flag. There's stance kit and I couldn't fight it. You can see my car is all over the place. I'm on the gravel. I couldn't fight it. Tim has single-handedly put me in a position where I need to play catch-up. I need to box and I need to play catch-up. At this point, Tim in the voice chat is completely broken. He can't talk anymore. He is laughing so fucking hard and crying because in his eyes, he just pulled the most funny shit ever. You can see the meatball flag, and in my own opinion, he absolutely did the funniest shit ever. I'm at this point not even going to fight Tom or Alice. Like, my car is fucked. I'm going off at every turn. They can have it. I go into the pit lane because I have the meatball flag. Of course, I'm going into pit lane. and I turned the limiter on a lot early. First of all, I underestimated how far the pit lane entry actually is. Second of all, the car is so fucked that I didn't want to risk it. I will be in the pit lane because you see, we just start lap 11. Lap 11 easily over 2 times the time. I'm in the pit lane for 1 minute 40 or 1 minute 15 even. I'm going as fast as I can, skipping this. And I rejoin again. New car. I forgot to turn my blinker off, by the way, so you're going to see that for quite some time. And I'm like, okay. Whatever, I'll just catch up again. I lost a lap in the pit lane. Well, one of my laps. Or one of the laps of the GT4, not one of my laps. So I'm genuinely going as fast as I fucking can while throwing all the swear words at Tim in the voice chat. Because Tim is a dick and Tim deserves it. While catching up, we'll see how Tim is doing. I don't know if it's this lap, but there is a point in the race where Tim just waits for me. So he can do what Tim does best. End my fucking life. Don't think it's this lap though. No. There is a point where Tim sees I'm back on track and decides, no, I'm not having that. I'm murdering you again. Because, again, Tim is a mean guy, Tim is a dick, and we all love Tim. Yeah, this is, remember the brown golden Porsche. The brown golden Porsche is Rupsi Cola, who will play a part in the last 10 laps. But just keep in mind, because Rupsi is the only reason I've won. Wrong button, I need this one. Now I'll try to skip ahead to something more fun. Again, this may seem like a bad race right now, boring, solely alone, but the voice chat made it a lot better than what you guys are seeing here. Next up is Donny. Donny at this point is 3 laps down, or 2 laps down on me, 3 laps on the leaders. Donny's race was over before it really started. So Donny also he's also playing around. Again, not as bad as Tom was playing around, but he is playing around. So he actually fights me. This is actually fighting for position, so he's allowed. No bad things there. Now the camera angle is a bit shit, but we go side by side, slight contact, no damage. But this is of course Donny's favorite spot, because what does Donny? Donny yells dive bomb and then doesn't go for it. He went way off track because he went too fast, but in the end, Donny really likes dive bombing. Is Tim here? No, Tim isn't here, so we'll skip ahead again. There are also some small mistakes from myself, which I will skip over because I can't handle me being bad. You can hear the sound of the pit lane. That's not a good sound to hear, because it means car number 161 is on pit exit. And what does car number 61 on pit exit? Car 161 on pit exit has the sole goal of murdering me again. He waits again, he cuts across the whole pit line, and I honestly make a good move. What does car 61 next? He kills me. Then he waits up for me, because it's Tim, and Tim likes to murder cars. Specifically me, and he tries to hit me again. I actually managed to avoid this, but once again, the car is fucked. Donnie also passes him, and this encounter is over. Now, at this point, I still have a feeling I can get podium, but the race win is out of the window. I think it's also at this point that Stanskid disconnects. And Stanskid disconnecting puts me in P5. Rupsy at this point is running P3, and he makes me an offer. If I can beat him to P3, so finish. Well, it's not exactly those words. The exact words were, if I can get on the podium, they will put everyone a lap back. Except me. Meaning that everyone just gets a 2-minute penalty. Putting me ahead of everyone. Donnie, who is in the chat, also confirms this. And it's at this point that I start pushing, because the win is still up for grabs. And if you have written the title of the stream, you already know I got on the podium. But the reason how I got on the podium is not because I drove. It wasn't pure skill, it was a lot of luck. And some help from Tim, from Rupsy himself. And just sheer adrenaline. It's all I can say about that. But we skip ahead again for a bit. Not again. I wish I had the audio so I can just let the full Tim play with audio from the voice chat, because the voice chat was what made this extremely funny. Now ahead, and this is to unlap myself. Up ahead are Tom and Stanskid. Or not Stanskid. We can see Tim already waiting in his murder hole. But we can see Tom and... Actually, I think that's still Stanskid in the lobby. Just know that Stanskid will disconnect from... Actually, is that Stanskid? Let's toggle the HUD and switch cars. I can actually not see... No, this is Alice. Car number 69 is Alice. Alice at this point is also in for the lead, but actually we can check if it's actually Alice or if I'm fucking up with numbers. Yeah, it is Alice. Good, good. Tim still in the pit lane, and you already know what's happening if Tim is in the pit lane. Tim in the pit lane can only mean one thing. I'm getting killed. I overtake Tom very cleanly. I'm under blue flags because I'm unlapping myself, but I'm significantly faster, so I'm allowed to unlap myself. Now, we all know what happens, and I'll just skip ahead to it because I'm overtaking Alice on the straight. Tim in the pit lane, you know what that means. He moves as soon as I'm on the straight. But what Tim isn't really counting on is that Alice is still involved. So he lets us go. And what Tim is going to do is just drive around very slowly and make me encounter him somewhere else. Because again, it's Tim, and Tim enjoys pain. Well, not pain, bringing me pain. Because it's Tim, and Tim is a fucking dick. So we skip to next lap because it's somewhere here that we'll encounter Tim again. Just gotta find him. No, he's still going fast at this point. But you can see at lap, where is that, lap 20? No, lap 18. Around lap 18, you can see his times are falling off. That is because our good old friend is more fucking around. You can see here from Stan's kit that this is his last lap. We can see Donnie just stop giving a fuck after lap 24. And my lap times are just all over the place because Tim. And my own mistakes, but we don't talk about those. Did I actually encounter Tim there, or... No, not yet. Normally, you can see this, but I normally have my minimap on, so I know where Tim is, and I know when I see white flags that I'm going to die because it's Tim. At this point, I'm P4 because Stan's kit at this point has disconnected. Which gives me just the advantage I needed. Or not the advantage I needed, it gave me more hope that I'd get podium. Rupsy made the deal before this, but that's because he was faster than Stan's kit, and I was faster than the both of them, and the gap was like 10 seconds. So the chance was really high that I would have overtaken both of them. You also see me cut into Schumacher as a lot and jump in on the curb of the final chicane because I'm driving really aggressive. I want that win. Now I haven't encountered Tim in a while. I don't remember every second of last race, obviously, so I may say things that won't happen, that don't happen until later, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Is Tim here? No, Tim isn't here. Yeah, this is the point where Tim decides, fuck it. I'm just going slow. Because it's Tim. And Tim hates me. Well, he doesn't hate me. Tim just doesn't care about me. He slides. I think at this point both Tim and Donnie has put traction control off. Yeah, I think they both put traction control off. They're still on the same... Well, Tim isn't on the same tires. But Tim is acting like his name, like a baguette. And he just parks it. Why does Tim park it? Well, whenever Tim parks it, you know I'm coming up. Meanwhile, I'm fighting Donnie. Donnie is again putting up a fight because it's Donnie. But all respect for that. Donnie is fucking it, because Donnie, and Tim is still parking it here. I'm coming up on that section, and Tim is still waiting. I pass him, and he just stands still. He continues standing still, and then moves again. But he isn't going fast. He was waiting for Donnie, to fight Donnie for some reason. Donnie is still having no traction control and is sliding all over the place. And these two will be doing this for a lot of time. It's also at this point that the two of them just decide to drift. I meanwhile still fighting, like my life depends on it, because honestly, in my eyes, it does. Now I want to switch to Alice for a moment, because Alice gets a moment with Tim. And it's not a fun moment, or actually that happened last lap. Alice's moment with Tim was less than ideal. Now I need to check where that moment took place, because I don't know where it happened. I just know that Tim said that he hit Alice, and Alice spent the rest of the time in the pit, which is how I got on the podium. Alice did not finish the race. Alice spent a shitload of time in the pit lane. And I've actually reset the lap. I'm just going to check where Tim is at this point, because Tim has parked it up in Tim's favorite spot. Now he's moving, and where is Alice? Alice is coming around to near where Tim is. Where is Tim at this point? Because I know the two made contact. I don't know the specifics. I just know they made contacts. They are both on this section. Where is Alice? Is Alice actually already past that? No, Alice is coming up on it. Again, this is way worse than it should be, but bear with me. Because apparently the fact that these two made contacts is the only reason I'm up where I am. Donnie is in the grid, and I don't know what Tim was doing there, but he makes contacts with Alice. And that's what gives me the podium. I don't know what happened with Donnie either. Donnie just... The two of them, let's just watch this for a while. These two literally gave up everything. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but they're not having fun. The traction control is off. Donnie hasn't pit yet, if I recall correctly, so Donnie's tires are shot. Tim, I think, has pit, but just hasn't fixed tires or something. But the fact that Alice drives there and Tim is going slow on the gravel, on the race line, means that that damage that he gave Alice is actually the reason that I got podium. Because Alice is parking it in the pit lane now. Donnie went off track again, but you know, that's just Donnie things. Shit happens, it's done. Alice is not really amused with this, but again, it's a fun race. So, no hard feelings for anyone. But Alice's race is over. Tim and Donnie just, like, Tim gets another lap in, Donnie just does Donnie shit. At the moment, there is quite a big gap between me and Repsy Cola. But I did not know that Alice was in the pit. So for me, it was full on a race for the lead. Or for the, yeah, a race for the lead. Because if I would manage to overtake Repsy, I would win the race. Again, not knowing that I would already win the race because Alice didn't finish. The gap at this point, and I need to check what lap it is, with 5 laps to go, the gap was around 50 seconds. I needed 10 seconds a lap. I could make that. This is the part where I pass Alice, or at least unlap myself from Alice, because Alice was still in P2. Alice wasn't catchable, I thought. Now, Repsy would actually wait up in the final lap for me, which you can see that that one is a bit closer. Tim is going slow again, because fuck Tim. And I actually end up, I don't know if it's this lap, but I actually end up fucking my steering. And it's because of course, who else? Car number 161. He goes into me, my steering is fucked again, and he made the challenge a lot worse. Again, fuck you, Tim, no offense, but fuck you if you end up watching this. Now, he just keeps going slowly. This will be the last lap he does. Donnie is just in the pit lane. Donnie has given up. Tim is going slowly because Tim is a dick. Now we'll skip ahead a couple of laps. I bounce over the curve. What else is? I'm now in P3, but again, I'm not realizing. I did a 209, which is in no way, shape or form fast enough. And the gap is according to my timing screen. And my timing screen was fucked up. Like, it kept jumping, but overall it was a gap of 30 seconds. Not 30 seconds, but like I was still within the window to catch Repsy. Which in my eyes was the very most important thing. Then I proceed, I think it's this lap. I proceed to send it too much, it isn't this lap. There is a lap, and I may have skipped past it, where I just go straight on into the wall and fuck my steering even more than it needs to be. Which is less than ideal. Now let's check with Repsy. Donnie decides to go out again. Donnie has one goal at this point. Drift for as much of the circuit as he possibly can. Now Repsy at one point, and I think it may have been this lap. Yeah, Repsy decides to be nice. He stops and waits for a few seconds. We're now on to the final lap. And for me and Repsy, it's just a fun race. it's going to be for Peter. He lets the gap close to 10 seconds. I just need to gain 10 seconds on him. The bad part, my car is utterly fucked. My tires are going off. His tires have been going off the cliff for 20 laps, but my tires are going off at this point. I have damage from both Tim and my own mistake. And 10 seconds, I need to push really hard. My fastest lap at this point is a 1:59, so I'm capable of doing under 2 minutes. I push myself so hard, and I think it may be better to show this from Rupsy, but I am catching him very fast, but not fast enough, because this is already the Schumacher ass. Tom just won the race because you can see the fireworks. And I decide to do the most stupid shit ever. I'm catching a lot, but I'm in no way, shape or form close enough to do anything. I'm still 3 seconds behind him. So, on advice of my very good friend Tim and Donnie, I decide to fuck it. Literally. I bounce too hard, lose myself even more time, and in the end, the gap is fucking 2 seconds. If Tim hadn't fucked me up that one final time, I would have done it. And of course, classic, fuck it into your rival. But, of course, I didn't beat Rupsy. Now the most important part is a specific wording of the deal. I didn't need to beat Rupsy. I needed to get on the podium. And did I get on the podium? Well, yes. Yes, I did. I got P3, which is enough. Because, like Tim fucked my session very, very much. But if Tim hadn't fucked Alice, I would not have been on the podium. So, how much it pains me to say this, I need to thank Tim for my win. This race win would not have been possible without Tim. I hate the guy. I want him to eat shit and die. But he made this race a lot more chaotic, a lot more fun. I hate his guts. But damn, what a fucking off-season. Now, the most part of this race was, of course, the fact that I'm in a faster car and I was told to catch others. There is a week between the final round next week and the start of next season, which it will be in 3 weeks. There will most likely be a part 2 of this, in which I get to choose a car class and a track, and everyone else gets put in a class below me on a track of my choice. This track will most likely be Paul Ricard, and the car will either be a GT3 or a Ferrari Challenge. So, there is a chance that you will get the same mayhem next fucking week. But we'll see how it pans out. The video may not be very good, this one, but again, I just wanted to describe the most chaotic race win I've had. The first race win in GT and 2 slow, and probably the only race win I'm going to get, because next week Tim has more opportunities to kill me and he is not going to hold back. Thanks for watching. I will have a stream tonight on the Aero League Racing channel with Assetto Corsa Round 1 there as a commentator. And of course, tomorrow is Formula 1 day in Aero, so I'll be there as well. For now, I just wanted to describe the shit I had to live with. And I'll see you again next week for Watkins Glen in anything but the GT3. Take care and have a nice day.